Okay, let's see. I don't get my. Fine.
You have it?
I can't get on Wi-Fi. Let me see.
Let me do that for you.
Manage Wi-Fi connections.
Oh, great.
Wi-Fi is off.
It's warmer outside. Leave your world guest.
I know I can't. I don't know where here. So here's this, and it says I don't have it turned on.
Right, so turn it back on.
Okay, I'll put it on one day. Turn Wi-Fi back on. Okay.
Yeah.
It looks like that I'm not turning it on for some reason. Shoot. Maybe go over to here to settings.
Yeah, that's what I'm gonna do.
Wonder why. Here.
Oh, there it is on you.
It's on, yeah, it's Windows 11.
Settings.
Shouldn't be, this should not be a problem. Oh, there it is,
Settings.
Wi-Fi settings.
Trouble with your mouse. It's a little quick for me.
Okay, turn it back. Oh, here, there it is. Turn it on right here.
Yeah, I know. I'm trying to find where the
yeah.
damn mouse is going.
Maybe we can do this instead. Well,
No, I got it.
you got it. Okay.
Good point there.
Slide it.
There you go.
Now we should just be able to go back down here
You're not connected.
to
that it?
nope, next one over to the right, that one. And hit available, hit the arrow right there. There you go. Jeez Louise. You've done it. Yeah, okay, good, thanks.
Good. Okay.
Oops. Thank you. Oh, yeah, here I am.
But you have the.
I'm gonna join, okay?
Yes.
Joining. Okay. There I am.
Yeah, I got it.
Okay. So.
Recording in progress.
Oh, there's a lot of people.
You have to. Man. We have to completely meet the mission. So. Right now.
Try what now? Oh, okay, it's no echo.
That's right.
Okay, got it.
You're gonna be using this
Okay, got it.
microphone.
I got it.
You can move whatever direction you need.
I think it's a pretty small room.
You can turn on your camera.
Okay. Wait, let's here. Turn this on.
Just click on it
I
again.
know, I should just click on it. What the
Yeah, good.
Okay.
And
Wait, I have to get rid of this.
Got it.
I have to get rid of that. Now we're good. Okay.
okay.
Yep.
And now click on your.
Got it. Okay.
Oh, click your microphone off, actually.
Okay.
Microphone, I'm controlling. Okay. For those of you already in the meeting, we're still doing setup. And would you, are you going to be showing your slides or?
I'm going to be using live on Word here.
Good.
So if it can
Turn it on.
project on the
You
TV.
can turn it on.
Okay, here's where I'm going right here.
Let's take a look. Here. Right. Right. Let's try some testing.
scared me. Okay.
Good. Okay, so they're hearing sound, we'll have to adjust the volume of it, but that's not a big deal. You know, if you sit closer to the middle, it might be easier to see. I don't expect that we're going to have a huge crowd today. So. Please don't be bashful. Oh, that's pretty good.
Oh. You look good.
Less of the back wall and more of all of your wonderful faces. That's good. And Gabe, if you would join in while we do setup, that would be a help. How are you doing, Andrea?
I just wanted to see what was up there.
Oh, absolutely. So what's up there is our screen.
One half Zoom and one half here, or
No, it's all Zoom. What I have is what's called the participants panel,
okay,
and that lets me help control it. I'll be shutting that off.
okay.
So what we want you to do. So you have Word.
Yeah, I'm gonna start with my
That's fine.
my
So I want to so open up your Zoom meeting.
okay. Mhm.
Oh, good. A wireless mouse. I like that.
Oh, yeah, me too.
Okay, so what I want you to do is go to share screen, the green. And that's why we do this ahead of time. Let's see. Change the settings.
Oh, yes. Oh, yes.
And you are not co-op yet. Done?
Yes, I was too.
Yes. You got a notice. Now. I can do- Good. Now try and go to share screen.
Okay, a window came up.
Yeah, and you have to pick the Microsoft Word window off your desktop.
Oh, here it is, Word demo.
Yeah.
Can I go back and forth to my desktop from here, or?
You can. I don't know if it'll show when you go back and forth, but we'll see. Just put that on.
Okay, share.
And there it
Okay,
is.
so if I,
Yeah, and we see it. You can walk around, take a look at the screen.
I'm gonna see if I minimize it a little bit, move it over,
My suggestion
not to do that.
is to have it as much as you can. You'll do it the way you.
Okay, so now it's gone. Let's see if I can bring it back up. There it is.
And
I got it, I got it.
the navigation path, if you can reduce the size of the second panel.
Here it is. Okay. I just wanted to move it. Can I move this? No, okay.
You're at full size, I think.
Let me see. Here's full size right there.
That's better.
Okay, a lot, so some of this is almost, the reason I put it on half screen is because a lot of this, there's messages here that are covering a lot of some of the word stuff.
You'll,
Wait, let me see if I can move the window down. No, no.
don't worry about what, that, it's gonna be at the top,
It's-
nothing you can do. about it.
Okay, then I'm gonna minimize a little bit then at first, and then I'll go back to large.
So
Okay.
as long as you know how you're going to navigate.
Yes, I think that'll be
So take a
okay.
look at the screen, there's a
Okay.
picture of you from your camera. Well, not that, but I mean,
Okay, so that's perfect, actually, that's all they're seeing here is the, oh
correct.
yeah, a little picture of me in the corner, but I'm not there yet. Oh, that's really nice. I should turn around, if this is all there's gonna be, I might turn this around. So I can see,
Absolutely.
but then I'm not on camera.
Well, yes, you are. You're standing.
Oh, yeah, there I am. In my camera, okay.
And honestly, you shouldn't worry about what they're seeing.
Okay, because I can't, there's sun shining on my screen, I can't see.
Correct. Now, you do what you're doing. Chances are I'm going to pin the classroom instead of you. There's usually not much that you can do while you're handling the computer. That's of great interest to people. Okay. Let me do.
So a lot of this is, oh wait, maybe I'll get rid of the navigation. Let's see, I'll get rid of this
You
navigation
know, if you're
screen.
gonna use it, oh, you mean the panel?
Yeah, it's taken up some, I can't move my, hang on. Can I get rid of this?
The
Okay, just,
navigation?
nope, no, I'm good. Oh, wait,
Okay.
I can't get rid of that message every time somebody comes on. Let me get rid of the navigation screen.
Right.
Um,
Navigation panels. This is a version that's ahead of mine, so I can't help you much. Go to the, get away from the menu, and sometimes.
There.
There you got it. Okay,
That's, now I get full screen and I have a little more leeway to work with.
Gabe. Would you unmute? You there?
I'm here.
Wonderful. Can you hear properly?
It's just fine. I'm hearing everything.
And you're seeing her screen?
Yes, I'm seeing her screen.
So, I will, your opinion, do I do, well, we still have a small audience, so we'll.
Yeah, there's only two people really for,
Yeah,
oh, okay, well, maybe nobody's interested
and
in,
it is 1 o'clock. We don't, oh, we have 14 people in the room, so. let
Okay.
me, admit everyone, and I will start introducing you.
should I unmute or are you,
Stop your recording. Your screen sharing, sorry. Stop your screen share.
Huh?
It's on the green, there's a green tab on the bottom of the top.
okay, you're screen sharing. Okay, should I stop it?
Stop
Stop it?
it, and you'll restart it. There we go. Okay.
And now I can restart it.
Yeah, not yet.
Okay, I'll have to unmute myself.
You know,
Okay,
leave it alone.
I'm not touching that. Okay, good.
Right. The
Okay,
sound is by control. The
okay, good.
activity is yours. Okay. I'm a little bit, well, to be grab the second microphone.
You guys can all hear me in here. There's not going to be a problem.
Yeah.
Guys, sorry, you ladies can hear me in here.
Leisure World Tech. And if you would, you should have been muted on entry, and if you would all keep that up, hello, Jerry. That would be a big help. Because that way we will not hear your telephones ringing and all the other stuff that goes along with it. In fact, and I'll be muting everybody for a second time in a few seconds. Today's talk is on a second. Today's talk is what should be useful and interesting. Talk on Microsoft Word, its uses, and a lot of what Andrea will talk about, but she won't focus on it, is available in every word processing program. Microsoft does it a little more simply and a little more elegantly than some of the others, and has a lot more features, but essentially handling text making files of it, manipulating it, combining files, all of that are functions that are available to all. And again, very happy that Andrea has prepared this for us and come to speak with us today. So, Andrea, before you speak, let's pin you.
Okay.
For a bit. I am spotlighting, so everyone can see and hear you.
Okay.
And go ahead.
Should I hit the screen share?
Say what you're.
Oh, okay, I'll start off first, okay.
Yeah.
Hi, good afternoon. My name is Andrea Balbo. I'm here today to talk about MS Word Basics. MS Word is probably one of the most popular word processing applications. It's used to process, manipulate, copy, save, share any text-based document. It's an extensive program that you will download on your computer. I don't know all there is to know about MS Word, but I use it to publish the Creekside newsletter, and I use a lot of fun functions that I'd like to show you today. First of all, we'll start out by how do you get Word? Where do you find Word? Most of the time when you buy a computer, you have the option to add software to it. And if you have a PC in particular, they will certainly offer you MS Office. Office includes Word, PowerPoint, Excel, and I think Endpoint, and it comes in a package.
Also, by the way, Outlook.
Outlook. Oh, yes, Outlook, the mail. I forgot about that. I don't use Outlook. It's all available for a price. I buy MS Office 365. I have an account with MS with Microsoft. My software is updated every year automatically, and they charge it to my credit card. And that way I keep the most current copies of all the software. You can purchase a one-time shot with all this, but just remember it won't be updated until you purchase the updates to it. Okay. So where do you find MS Word on your computer? I'm gonna have to. I'm gonna hit the screen share.
Screen share.
You would go to your desktop. Wait a minute.
Oh, that's all right. They can't see it. Desktops don't show up.
Okay, so
once you've
okay.
launched it, you'll show the Word program itself.
I'll just open up Word. So most of the time you would go to your start button on your computer if you're using Windows, if a PC in particular, and it will open a functions window, and you'll see Word there, and you can open it up. You can search for Word, and if you have an open Word document, it'll probably be pinned down to your taskbar at the bottom. Okay. So I have opened up a Word document that I have ready for us to talk about here. I had it pinned down to my taskbar with the Word icon and just tapped on that, clicked on that, and up popped my document that we're going to be working on today. I thought it would be a good idea to make something to show us all the functions that we can use. So I've chosen an invitation or a thank you letter, I guess you could say. And we are going to be working through a lot of the MS Word functions using this particular description, okay? So if you see this, the page that opens up has a line up here, the very top line. It has, I have auto save set on mine. We have the save button is here. We have the undo button, which I use quite a bit. Then there's a nice little function right here that tells you where your file is. It tells you your file name and it tells you where you saved it. My file name is word.demo and I have saved it on my desktop. Here's a search button. And this is just information that Microsoft has about my account. Here's the minimizing button and the enlarging button. Of course, if you hit here, your file will close. The next line is a line of tabs. Underneath each tab is a ribbon. And these ribbons are the real meat of the program, which will have the functions that you'll use to create your documents, letters, lists, papers, whatever whatever you're writing or doing, it'll come from these functions. So we're going to start with this is just a file, and it gives you different things you can do with your file. You can save it, you can open a new one, you can save a copy, you can print it, etc., etc. If we hit the little back arrow right here, we go to our first tab is the home tab. And I think that tab is probably the most popular tab. For me, it is anyway. And it has a lot of neat functions on it. It has the paste function, copy function, cut function. It also has this neat little format painter, which I'll show you later. But first, let's look at our invitation and think about how we want to make it. So I think I want to make this part of it larger, and I think I want to change the font. So I'm going to go here. And if you hover over these windows, you'll see that a little window will pop up. It tells you exactly what it is. Pick a font for your text. So I hit the down arrow. And since I've been already doing this, the font that I've used before is at the top. Otherwise, you could search all the way down. And as you hover over these fonts, you see my thank you is changing according to each font that I'm hovering over. But we're going to change it to this Edwardian script. And I'm going to increase it a little bit. I'd like it to be a little bit bigger on my invitation. So I'm going to put it something like this. Okay. And that is that part. So now we have this in a whole different font and a whole different size than the rest of our invitation. So I think I'm going to change the rest of my invitation font too. And I'm going to make it something else. I'll do it there, and I'm going to make it bold. So here underneath is bold. We have to highlight first. Sorry, hang on. If you want to make something bold, you would highlight your text and hit the bold key, and then it becomes bold text. You can make it italics. You can underline it. If you don't like what you just did, you can go up here to the undo button, hit undo. Now it's not italics, but we can see that it is in a script that we chose. We have to highlight it first. We can see it's in the script that we chose, and the size that we chose is I'm putting it in size 14. So as we work across here, there's a lot of functions that are a little bit higher level, subscript and superscript, for example, putting in footnotes. Here we have a bullet button. If this was a list, I would hit the bullet button and it would make little bullets in front of each item. If I wanted numbers instead, I would hit that button and it would go as numbers. If I wanted to do sort of an outline style, I could hit that and it would give me all these different outline styles. And there again, if I don't like what I just did, I can undo it. Another function up here at home is, so then we move on to paragraphs. And this is the alignment button. I have the alignment button in center. So all the script that I have just highlighted is in the center of the page or in the center of my work. If I wanted it to go align right, I would just hit that button. And that would make it easier to put bullets on it or numbers. Let's go back. Undo, undo, undo. I like it in the middle because it is an invitation after all. If I wanted it to align left, I could do it with that button. So that's what these are as far as alignment goes. The next thing that comes up in paragraphs, you can hit these little arrows at the corner. They're very tiny, but if you hit them, if you left click on them, a window will come up. And it will have all the functions that's under that particular topic under that tab. And you can see you can do spacing here, indentations, alignment. It's all right there if you need more choices, okay? And that's most of the little, under this ribbon, most of these topics have a little button there. Under styles, this is a pretty nifty little button. It gives you a choice of text. I have it, it's normal, of course, right now, but if I wanted to have it no spacing, I could just hit that style and it would be no spacing. If this particular sentence I have written up here was a heading to a paragraph, I could hit that. It would make it bigger. If it was a title, it would even make it bigger. So that's what styles are. It kind of saves you a lot of time if you use them. So let's go back and realign this. Get rid of styles. And we'll go back and undo what we just did, which will be a quick review. Okay, and now we're back where I use the undo button quite a bit, as you see, because you can play around a lot and then just hit the undo button. And don't be afraid to, you'll not make a mistake, because you can always go back all the way back as far as you need to get back to where you wanted to be. I think that's about it for the home button. Oh, there is one little nifty feature here. It's called dictate. If we put our mouse down here, you see my cursor is right here. If I hit the dictate button and I say dictate, it will type everything I say. Period. And if to turn that off, you just, oops. What did I do? Oops, now I'm messed up. To turn that off, it just turns off. Let's see, I'm over here. Let's go over here. I think I turned it off. Yeah, okay. So how do I get rid of this? Where is that window?
Move around with it.
I can't see my whole page. Oops. Yeah. Well, I'll just sort of work over here, I guess, a little bit. It's
click on
help.
the
If I hit
X.
click on help, it should go away. It's just not going away.
Right.
Oh, wait, see if I can escape. Hang on. Something went wrong.
Yes,
Please
yes.
check your network connection. Okay.
We're seeing it properly, so not to worry.
Okay, so
Hit escape a couple more times, that usually works.
I know it usually does. If I hit undo, see if that'll work. Well, okay, I can move on. I'm flexible here.
Try hitting the X next to help. See
What's
where
that?
it says help? Go to the right, where it says help. Put your cursor on help.
Okay,
No, on the screen where it says help, big help. Now
Right.
go straight to the right
And
and click the X.
I can't see the X because I have a window there
Well,
from
let me-
Zoom. Oh, wait. Got it. No, I got it. I couldn't see it. I got rid of that window. Thank you. I just had a window there from Zoom. Now
Yeah.
let me get rid of get rid of all that. So now we're not on the dictate anymore. I just wanted to show you that because that's a nice little feature. If you have just an idea, you can just just say it and not have to worry about typing it all. And that's kind of what these lines are. This is a comment feature. We'll open up a side window also. And if you're working on a document and you have ideas, but don't want to really write them down yet, maybe you want to get back to it later, you can write comments there. But then when you reopen up your document, those comments will show up and you can say, oh yeah, I remember, I was going to do this or I was going to do that. And you can write those in the comments and remember, and have to write them anywhere else. And it'll just show up with the document. So moving along.
Andy,
Yes.
on the comments, they won't show up when the print is done, correct?
No, they will not. It will just, it's a reminder just for yourself. Yeah, it will not be on it. Here, let me open it up. It comes into a separate window and you can say, oh, okay, I want to talk about this, or I want to add some pictures from this and this and this, and then you can close it. And when you open up this document again, you can open up comments and they'll be in there. But when you print, you'll just be printing the body of your document, not the comments at all.
What does editing do?
Editing, well, let me give you, let's take a look. So you can review, you can make changes, you can review your work. There's a better feature than this along the tabs that I use for editing, which includes spell check, grammar check, et cetera, and that's further along on one of the other tabs. I think we'll talk about it there. These are just real quick stuff here. So let's go on to the next tab, which is a fun tab. Anyway, I think it's fun. This tab is an insert tab, and you can insert just about anything you want to into these documents, which is kind of fun. You can insert pages from another document. You can insert a table. And not only that, you can tell it how big you want it to be. And if you want it to be that big, I'll say that big. And then you can type Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and you can make all kinds of lists. Let me go back. You can insert pictures. This is a very interesting feature. You can insert pictures from this device. So when you hit this device, it goes off into Explorer, and your pictures, all the pictures, wherever you store your pictures, comes up. And you can click on a picture. I'm just going to choose this one. And you can just see right here, it says insert. And there we are, Jackson Square, New Orleans, Louisiana. That is from your computer. Oops, let me go back. If you want to insert a picture from stock images, you can hit stock images. Lots of images will come up, but I think I'm going to use one of these because I think I'm going to make it maybe, let me see. I was going to make it a wedding invitation, but I don't see much about weddings here. Anyway, we'll add one of these
If you
photos.
Type in wedding, see what
Oh
you get.
yeah, I'll type in wedding. I'm a bad speller though. I just want to tell everybody that in advance. Okay, let's see what we have. So let me see what we have for wedding. Okay. How about this one? Which one?
There's a bride holding flowers.
This one. Okay. That's a good one. And then we'll say insert. And maybe our internet is a little slower than mine at home. I'm not sure that's even going to work. Oh, there it is. There she is. And so if we
Nice.
highlight that picture by just left clicking on it, and you see the little dots all around it, the little circles. So we can grab a corner. We can make it smaller. I wanted to put it in between. Let's see if I can move it down here. See how my cursor moved down there. So now I put the picture down below. And so my invitation's coming along. It's coming along. So back to insert. What else can we insert for pictures? There was one more. Oh, you can go online. That's my phone is ringing. That's just another way to get out on the web. I use clip art a lot. It's just clipart.com, and you can click on it and put in anything you want to, and all these little cartoons will come up, and I'll show you that later. I'm not comfortable today going back and forth to desktop, so I'm not going to do it. So our next category here is shapes. And there's a million shapes you can add. If you want to put an arrow, you just click the arrow, your mouse turns into a little cross, and you can say, well, I wanted to start there and I wanted to finish there. And there's your arrow. It's kind of a measly looking arrow. I think I want it to be a little bigger. So if I right click on it, a little window comes up and it says format shape all the way down here at the bottom. If I hit format shape, now I can do all kinds of stuff to this arrow. I can change the color to it. I'm going to make it red. And it says the width of the line. I can increase the width of the line. And then just click back here, get rid of this window, and there's my arrow. If I think it's too long, I can just click on it, grab these little handles, these little circles, and make it smaller, make it bigger. You can switch it all around, turn it wherever you want it pointing at. I'm actually going to get rid of it because I don't want it on my invitation. I just wanted to show you. Yes, that was a right click. Sorry, I'll do that again. I'm sorry, because I'm going kind of fast. These are left clicks, all this stuff. A right click will bring up a menu. So when I did bring up, so let's go back to shapes, because I'm going to put a shape on this invitation. I'm going to put a square on this invitation. So now I have a little X. And I'm just going to cover this whole invitation with a square because I might print it out and I might want it to look like a card. So I did that. So now if I right click, so let's highlight it. So you see the little circles. Let's right click. Up comes our format shape window. Okay. The first thing I'm going to say is I'm going to change the fill color. I'm going to make it red. Don't panic. It's not going to be that bad. Um, don't panic, because there's this cool little button here that says transparency. So if I slide this all around, all along the ends and put it to be about, I don't know, 80, 92, something like that. Now we have a really nice pink background to my invitation or to my wedding. Thank you. This next thing I'm going to do is I have a solid line, which is what I want. And I'm going to make it a little bit thicker. So once again, I'm going to go here where it says width. Remember, we're under the line category here. I'm going to make it probably 2 points, just to make it a little more formidable. Okay. And then I can X out of this window. And there we have our invitation. If I can make it a little bigger, there it is. I think I'll probably add some more stuff to it later as we go along, but for now, I think that's good. So what have we done here? We changed the font, we changed the color, we put a thing around it, we did transparency, and it's not bad. You can make invitations, I do recipes like this and add clip art for whatever I'm making, and I send them to people, and you can just get really creative with this stuff. Let's go back to insert and see what else we have. There's a lot of stuff. A lot of this is pretty not complicated, but it's just things you wouldn't use on a normal day. You could go here and you could add a header if you wanted to put a title up there later, or you could add a footer if you needed to put footnotes in there someday. You could put page numbers on it.
Headers, by the way, and footers carry each page. So that's the advantage of it. So if you said this is a working document, it would go on every page. If you put a date on it, every page would have the same date, and it could be the date you print it or the date that it was prepared. You get those choices in this program.
Let's move it down along here. I want to show you one of my favorite features of all of this, and that is to insert the text box. I have an example. But I'm just going to add a simple, let me start over here. Well, we'll do it. A simple text box. Now you see it, put it right over top of my invitation, but that's okay because I can move it. We're moving it down here. We're going to move it down to this page. Okay. Where am I here? So you can see you can move this text box all around. And that's one of the major features of this. I can move it all the way down here. And I can put anything in there that I want. I can say, I can put this in there. So if I highlight it and if I copy it with a Control-C on my keyboard, I can put this here and Control-V. And now I have text in that text box, which I can move wherever I want to, which is very nice. Here's an already set up text box with a picture in it. I got a picture from clip art of Snoopy, one of my favorite people, or animals, I guess. And I said, I think I want to have it in the text box so I can move it around. So I just moved it over there. And now I can put him wherever I need to put him in anything I'm doing. Very useful. I use those quite a bit. Down on this page also, which I didn't mention earlier, is spell check. I'm a pretty fast typer and a very bad speller, which is a bad combination. So I get a lot of these. If I spell something wrong, it'll either self-correct or it'll have a red line under it so I can correct it. So if you get a word with a red line under it, just left click, a little menu comes up and it's like, oh yes, that word's supposed to say something. And there it changes. Here's another one with a little red line under it. I'm going to left click. And that's supposed to be the word have. And here's another one with the line under it, and that's supposed to be the word under. So that you can, and I end up going through my documents a lot, clicking on red lines, changing my spelling. Sometimes it'll be a grammar issue. For example, if I think this came up as a grammar. Yeah, see, now that has a blue line under it. But if I left click, it'll give me this corrections with a hyphen in between the two of them, which I didn't know there was a hyphen there. I guess I should have, but I didn't. And so that would correct that. So there's some really nice spell checks.
Hang on a second.
Yep.
Go back to it.
Do we have a question?
Now, after self-correct, what's the next word?
Oh, it should be has. It will either self-correct or have. This should be or. See, this is not a misspelling though. It's just it's a word in itself.
Right.
So I'm gonna have to check on, there are some times that you have to check. Oh, good eye. You should proofread for me. I'm gonna get you to proofread for me.
Bad enough I do it for me.
So there's a lot of nice,
By the way,
Say
all
what-
of these programs, if you leave it on self-correct, it will be doing this as you type, and generally they
right.
throw the grammar in too.
right.
So it would have picked up that the word of there
Yes,
didn't make any sense.
Yes, it would have picked that up because it didn't make any sense. Correct, that's correct. So along we go. I have to make this smaller so I can see this menu up here. Okay. I think we've just about exhausted the insert for useful things. I mean, you can also insert symbols, equations, all kinds of symbols you can insert, and you would insert them just like a photo. You would click on them, and it would, and then then a window would pop up and you would just hit the word insert. So the next tab along here is a draw tab. We won't spend too much time on this tab, but it's basically a freehand drawing, which I'm not that great at, but if you would click, hang on. Let me go down here in my work page. If you would click any of these pencils or pens, your cursor now becomes a little dot, and it just becomes a pencil that you could just write things and do all kinds of stuff with it. And thank goodness for the undo button, because I'm not that good at that. So, but if you wanted to play around with it, it's a lot of fun. And that's basically what the draw tab is all about. So the next, how do I get rid of? The next tab is a design tab. This is nice because there's some templates here that you can use for if you're going to write something in particular, a chapter of a book or something, you can use these document formatting pages. I don't use too many things here. I think a lot of it is for publishing with watermarks and page colors and borders and things. I don't use that many things on this page. I don't use anything on this tab basically, but it's something fun to explore when you get a chance. So we're moving on to the layout tab. And this is a very useful tab also. It starts out with margin. So if I hit the little arrow down, I have all kinds of choices. Normal, narrow, moderate, wide, all kinds of choices for margins. I'm going to just leave mine normal. The next one over is orientation. If I hit that little arrow, I have a choice to make it a portrait, which is your standard sheet of paper, or you can turn it on its side and make it a landscape document. Yeah.
Before you get too far, what's the difference between normal and default?
Default, normal.
Or see at the bottom, it says Office 203 default, and then you see.
It's a much older version of
I
it.
would say the numbers, if you see the top is 1 inch. And the
Right.
left is, now you have a bigger margin on the left there at one. Can you see the 121
Yeah.
inch and 25?
So what they frequently do is if people got very used to using it for the last 20 years, they'll say, oh, I'll show you the way you did it 20 years ago.
Oh, okay, I'm so looking at the word.
No, that's a good
Yeah.
point.
And default.
Yep, good point. Good.
But
But
if-
you see it says Office 2003
I see,
default.
yeah,
Okay,
yeah,
yeah. So now we're working with Office. I don't even know what this version is, but it's the latest. That's all I know.
Okay, thank you.
Sure, of course. So orientation again is portrait and landscape. Size is interesting. You can do letters or tabloids or legal size. These are all, it gives you the numbers, the inches. I'm sure it's in inches. I think so, yes.
Yes.
So you kind of get an idea of what size you're looking at here. If you do, for example, if I wanted to make my invitation a certain particular size to print it on cardstock, I might consider changing one of these sizes of my sheet of paper that I'm writing it on. In columns, that's another That is also very useful. If I have to highlight some text. I use columns a lot in the newsletter to save space. So I highlight my text. I go to layout. And I go to columns, of course, and I want 2 columns most of the time, and it splits my text into 2 columns. If you hit this down button, you can hit columns. Let's see if it's on there, maybe not. Let's go back here to layout and columns. If I hit more columns, here it is. You can actually choose the width of the column. You can choose where the page breaks are also here, which is very useful if it breaks it in the middle of a sentence or whatever, someplace that you don't want it to break into. That's pretty useful for saving space. Then we come, here's the page break. I mean, the column breaks. You can do line numbers, hyphenation, indentation again, which is a kind of a repeat of the home page. But you know, it's okay. There it is again. In alignment, it's easier to use it from the home page. So moving along, the references. A lot of this is for professional documents, I'll say. Writing a table of contents, and if you hover over these, it tells you exactly what it's going to do. In this case, it provides an overview of your document by adding a table of contents. You can add text, update text. You can insert footnotes, which is very helpful. Insert a citation. It'll help you set up your bibliography, which is very useful. Just things like that, mostly for professional documents. Okay. So we go on to the mailings page tab, sorry. And the ribbon that comes up is also interesting. Envelopes. If I hit envelopes, it'll help me set up an envelope if I want to print an envelope. The delivery address, the return address, it just helps you through the whole process. The same thing with labels. If I hit the labels thing, it will just guide you through the entire process of printing labels. I used to print a lot of labels. One note about labels, if you're going to print labels, I always print them on a sheet of paper before I put my label page in there. So I don't, so you don't ruin your label page.
Yes, when you're using gum labels, it's very expensive to
I
waste
know,
the
you don't want to
paper.
be messing up your labels, so.
Print on the back side or.
I learned that the hard way, just saying. I'll save you some
I
time.
messed up a mini when I used to work.
Exactly.
It's
Yeah.
a sad story, but it's okay. You learn, we
And it
learn.
also, by the way, allows you to do just one, or it says
Right.
it will do a whole page of the same things. And when you do
Yeah.
some of them, now it gets into the sophistications. For instance, you can say, oh, go to this document where I have my list of addresses and they're in a form, and then put a different address on every envelope. Page 1, document envelope 1 gets page 1, and you tell it what's page 1. And in fact, probably you could go back to your own contact list and say, do envelopes to these contacts, make a group of them, and certainly you do it between 2 different documents, and it'll pick it and it'll put it in the right place. And if it's the same address, return address every time, it'll do that. And I think it said that this will also do on envelopes. If you have electronic postage available, it'll incorporate that.
Yes, nice. It's nice. It's very helpful. MS Word has a lot of help. There's a lot of help out there.
And it's more sophisticated than it once was.
Than ever. I think people are doing, whether that we're working or not, we're doing stuff. Christmas lists, envelopes, I mean, just all that stuff can really be
I've been retired more than 20 years, and some of this stuff is much more advanced than the way it was.
oh yeah.
I have 2015, and I've never seen a good quarter of these, or if I did, I didn't know what to do
You
with
know
them.
what to do with them. Remember WordPerfect. I mean, that was way long time ago.
Right.
People still are sad about that, but anyway. It's very useful, and along the whole way, at the very end, the very last tab is help. And did I say there's it's not showing up here. Let me see if I hit this little microphone. If you just, this little magnifying glass, if you just type right here, oh, now it comes in. And if I forget where my margins page is to adjust my margins, I can just type margins and I can go to the adjust margin page, if you know what I mean. If you forget where it is on what tab and what ribbon are we talking about, you can just type it right in here and let MS Word find it for you. Don't waste your time looking for stuff. Another useful thing I turned on the other day, let me see if it'll work on here. Make my text red. Will it work? Let's see. I am. And so just this is what I do in my spare time. I know I'm just teasing. I'm totally teasing. If I wanted to turn it back to, well, I didn't show you this, but if you do highlight your text, you get a little kind of an abbreviated window shows up for just quick stuff. Okay. So if I wanted to turn this back to black text, I would just hit this little arrow here and go back to black, and we're back where we are. I could have hit the undo. Okay. I wish I used quite a bit. I use that button, but just to show you that window, you can do a lot of stuff on that window. You can change the font. You can do all these things that are on the home button without having to go up to the home button. And it's just like this little window. But to get rid of it, you just left click somewhere in the text, but you won't see it until you highlight something, and then it'll show up. And that's pretty useful. I've used that quite a bit. So let's move on to the review window. And this is where your spelling and grammar, which is usually always turned on. There's a thesaurus here, which is a very nice feature. If, for example, we highlight the word program and we go up here to review and we hit thesaurus, we get all these choices for the word program. If you don't like the word program, you can have a lot of choices. And that's I use this thesaurus a lot also, just to give I tend to use the same words when I write stuff, and it's nice to have and you can learn a new word for, I don't know. So that is a nice feature. That's under the review tab along that ribbon, word count for proofing is here. There's a lot of different language. You can change the language. You can make changes. And we did this a lot with scientific documents. You have many authors. Each author has a say-so. So you would send the document to each author to make corrections. And their track changes yours can be blue, somebody's can be red. And whoever is the lead author will either come in and accept the changes or not. He can see who made the changes and chit chat with them. So a lot of this is very useful, it saves a lot of time, but a lot of it's for professional writing, I think, for most of this. Where am I? That's the review tab. So in other words, reviewing a document. The view tab is, you can get different views of your documents. Right now we're in the print layout. So if I was going to print this document that we're working on here, it would print exactly as I see it. It would print this lovely invitation first. The second page would be this, that kind of a thing. These are also down here on the bottom on the right-hand corner, these different views of your documents down here. Also is the zoom bar. You can zoom into your documents or zoom out of your document if you want to see something closer. One of the view things that I use is, it's not showing up on here. I use a navigation page, but I don't see it here. And the navigation, it's because I'm not all the way. Let's see if I open this all the way up. I can't see the top menu though, that's why. Okay, well, the navigation page is under view. I don't see it right here, but what it does.
Why not just type it in your question?
Oh yeah, I can do that. Look at you. I'll turn you into a PC guy yet. Let me see. Okay, navigation. Navigation page. Display the selected. Okay, nope, that didn't do it. How about if I put in navigation pane? Or how about navigation?
Reviewing
Um,
pane.
Yeah, I don't see it. I don't, oh,
Is
here,
that
use the
review pane?
navigation pane in Word. Here.
Oh, open the navigation page, third one down in
One,
action.
oh, here it is. Okay, that's it. So if you're, thank you, Alan. If you're working on more than one page, all the pages show up here. And I use that with the newsletter because I can't go over 11 pages. So if I start adding stuff, and you can see the pages are all numbered, I need to keep it under a certain number of pages and it will show up all your entire document, which is very useful. I find that to be very useful because as I'm doing things, for instance, if I had to put something here and this goes down to the next page and oh my gosh, I'm getting, all of a sudden I have too many pages, I can rearrange. It's easier to rearrange it over here than it is flipping around over here. And that's a very useful thing. And just to get rid of that navigation page, you can just hit this X right here and we go back to full page. And I don't need to go back up there, but that is a useful thing. Let's see what else I have down here. Okay. That is the view. How much time do we have? Okay.
You're very good.
Okay. So there's not too much. Here's Zoom. And again, this is all down in the right hand corner down here, a lot of this. And of course, the next one is help. And you can, there's a lot of help out there. Just type something in and get help. What's new, contact support, et cetera, et cetera. I think we've gone over the comments and the editing. So basically that is it for these tabs for MS Word. Is there any questions on any of these in particular? Then I'm going to show you how to save a document.
Let's,
Are there any hands up? I haven't.
yeah, I'm going to do that now, as a
Okay.
matter of fact. So let me, why don't you stop your screen share? We can always restart it.
Stop
It's up
screen
on
share. Okay.
And,
Oh, there's a handout.
okay, and there's gallery. And Mr. Berman.
Hi, good afternoon, Andrea. What a wonderful presentation. I
Oh,
really
thanks.
appreciate it. Yeah, very thorough. This program is exceptionally powerful and I use it somewhat, but I don't use all the features. Sometimes I use Pages for making projects and so forth. And in Pages, it turns out you have opportunity for word processing format or a blank page format. Does such a thing occur in Word? If so, I haven't been able to find it. You know, where you have your margins set, if you try to move a box beyond the margin, then I think you get in trouble. And I'm wondering, what I'm looking for is a plain page view, if such a thing occurs.
Just a plain page view.
Jerry,
No, a plain page with no formatting on it. So we don't have the margins, we don't have the index.
Oh, just a plain page.
that's good.
Yeah, just a blank page like a board or something that you can move things around and not bump into the margins or anything.
There is a function called draft, but that shows it literally just the text, and I don't even think you get your images and your boxes and all of that. I think that reduces it to the simplest. Why not go ahead, Andrea, reopen it and see.
What's it called?
You in Word, there is a view called draft,
Draft, okay.
DRAFT, and see if you can try it on with us looking.
Okay.
There we go.
So where would that be? Do you have
Under whole layout, take a look at layout.
I'm not getting
And
all my
margins, no. Look under home, perhaps.
Oh, could you just see if you could take your invitation and drag it all the way to the left, or whether you get bump into a margin in
I'm
the
pretty sure I'll
formatting
bump
that you
into a
have?
margin.
Yes.
Yeah. Can you draw that all the way to the left or do you run into your
No, there
mark?
it goes, all the way to the left, all the way to the right.
Ah, okay, all
I
right.
think the text box, if
Yeah.
I tried to put the text there, I could hit backspace, but it's not, well, I have it,
Right,
if I align it, it's going to be, it won't go all the way.
right.
It's not gonna go all the way.
She has actually two different functions going on. She has text and a box.
Yeah, I know.
Sorry,
Okay,
Bob.
so the box, you can override the margin with the box.
That's
that
why they're
answers my
so,
question.
yep.
Yeah.
Yes, I hadn't even thought about that, but they're so useful in that regard because sometimes I get a whole bunch of pictures to put into the newsletter and I need to squeeze them in there and I could put them in text boxes and move them all around. And
Okay, so
even
that's
thought
the
about that.
override.
Yes, so a text
So,
box
Yeah, there you go.
carries the information that you put into it along with it, wherever you
Right.
move it.
Well, not in this case, but
No, this isn't the text box. This was
this is
literally a
already
box.
created. Yeah, that's correct. That's correct. So let's go.
Couldn't get it lower. I got it higher and then I couldn't get it lower. It's something on the side. I saw it go all the way up and oh yeah, there. Okay, there you go. Thank
So
you.
there's your text box.
Now I can't hear. No, it's on the side there.
Who's
Yeah.
speaking?
Somebody
Okay.
has their,
It's where?
Who is speaking, by the way?
put it, there you go.
Okay,
Okay.
So I don't know,
That's good.
see this
Thank
blank
you.
text box can go all the way over here.
Yeah, so it overrides the margins.
Right, we
Good.
can grab some text down here. Copy it and I'll paste it up here just real quick. And there it'll be if I spell something and then you can just type as much as you want. Now, how it prints will be up to your printer. You might have,
Of course.
you know,
Yeah, of course.
you might have to disregard the margins on your printer. That would be the thing I would worry about, but
Yeah,
otherwise. Okay,
good, thank you.
yeah, sure.
okay.
But do I have just enough time to?
Yeah, let's kill your screen share and we'll do another couple of.
Okay.
I thought I saw another hand up. Anybody
Yeah.
else?
I
Yes.
have a question.
Who is speaking?
Joanne Crowder.
Yes, Joanne.
This doesn't pertain to Word, but maybe you can help me out with this. I received an email and it's encrypted. And I was able to open the document on my laptop, but since I got an iPad, I'm unable to open the document. And whenever I type on, it'll say, it'll come up, save and open the attachment. And whenever I do that, and then it says download, and I tap download, but it doesn't let me open up the document. Is there a way that what is it that I need to do to open up an encrypted email?
You should come on Friday to the Technology Resource Center when we have I and Ron Massey, who's quite a bit better at Apple equipment, to see about it. But you're correct. That has absolutely nothing to do with Word.
Yeah,
can't
yeah,
help.
okay, thank you.
And that can have all sorts of peculiar things going on, which we'd have to take a look at.
Okay, thanks.
No problem.
Mhm.
But yes, the Technology Resource Center is for questions like that. Come in, sometimes the monitors will help, and certainly Apple equipment on Friday afternoon from 2 to 4.
Oh, okay,
Okay.
thanks.
Andy, anything?
So, yes, I wanted to show how to save
Yes.
documents. That's a very, so I'm gonna go back to screen share, right?
Yep,
And share my demo. Open up that. Okay. So now here we are back in Word. So when you do have a document and you want to save it, one of the most important things about saving documents is remembering where you saved it and putting it where you want it. It's number one, and remembering where it is and getting it so it's you can find it again, basically. So you can go, so to save a document, this document's already saved, but I'm just gonna show you. When I save a document, you can save a copy of it. Oh, wait, I'm gonna have to open up a new. Let's go to a blank form. Okay, well, now we're in a brand new document, and a lot of times I save it before I even begin. I don't forget. So I go to file. So this is blank, just a blank document. I haven't written anything on it yet, but I want to save it before I start. So I go to the file tab and hit file. And I usually go to
Hang
save.
on a second, you're not screen, that's interesting. We are not seeing the document you are.
Oh,
Yes, so what happens with Zoom is it looks at specific
oh, I
documents.
asked it to open.
You asked
a
it to open this
particular
document and it's
document.
continuing to show us this
Okay,
document.
okay.
So if you could, so go to,
Wait a minute, let me get out of here.
right, stop sharing,
No, wait, let me just get us. So now you can see this document now.
right,
It's just that since it's saved already, the same font, this whole, well, I can do it here, but this menu is not going to be the same because I've already saved it.
right. But you can save a copy,
I can save a copy. So, open up the file. Oops, oh gosh.
yeah, do a,
Wait a minute. I
stop
gotta
screen
get-
sharing and reopen
Okay,
it.
so I'm gonna
You'll
stop.
see two different options.
Okay, now I'm gonna screen save. I don't have that blank document anymore, but
You know,
no, but I can get it. So here's where I was. Let me open up a blank document and I'll do that all over again.
there you are.
I can't see it. Hang on. Nope, I've totally lost my,
All right, stop your
Ah.
screen share is fine.
okay, I can't, I've got the gallery menu is down there and I can't get rid of it.
Okay,
So it's, oh, here, wait a minute, here we go. All right, I'm gonna stop screen share.
right,
We're gonna go back to screen share. And here was my documents here. Somewhere, here it is. Let's do this.
see what happens.
Okay, maybe that did it. This is Explorer. This is not gonna work.
Right,
Yeah, okay. Let me
don't
get-
worry about it.
Yeah, well, let's see.
Needless to say, you can put them on the desktop, double clicking on a given file opens it with the program that it was created in. If the file came from another computer and it's not a compatible file, you'll get some questions and it'll try and do it for you.
Right, right. So here we are back here. You could say, if you do go to file and you want to save it, I can say save a copy. And if I hit save a copy, and it happens if you say save as also, Windows Explorer pops up and your whole computer is available to you. So I want to save it. I don't want to save it in the cloud. I don't want them to save it. I want to put it where I want it. So you hit this PC. So if I double click on this PC, everything about my PC shows up because it's Explorer. Here's desktop. I save things on the desktop, but if you go down here, you see your C drive is here. You could save it in your C drive if you have files that you want to put your documents in. And you can also, I work primarily off of a flash drive, and that's what a local disk is. So I have all these files in this local disk so I can move stuff back and forth, and you can save it there. So you have a lot of choices here to save your file. Most of the time I put it in the desktop and it will come up. Here's my desktop, and underneath there, it'll say the file name. I'm probably going to have to put a 2 beside it because I already have one saved name. And going to save it as a Word document, which is .doc, D-O-C, and I hit the word save. And now it's on my desktop. Okay, got it. And it's on my desktop as document MS demo /2 or just 2. And that's how you save things. And you can just, then you'll know where it is when you do it that way. Okay, any questions? That was kind of quick. No?
Okay,
Okay, great.
um,
We have 3. Oh, one other thing I was gonna show you, just as an example. Here. We go down to the bottom, just some examples of what my newsletter looks like. Here is the Creekside Book Club announcement, and I got something from Clip Art, and I put it right there, Creekside Book Club. Sandy sends me her article. This time I made it in 2 columns. I put a text box around it and made it yellow and transparent so I could see through it. I got rid of the line. You can get rid of the line that's usually around it to make it a little bit neater. The board president, who you might know, this guy, sends me his article, and I kind of do the same thing. I split it into 2 columns to make it a little bit smaller. And then people send me their trips, if they go on a trip, and they send photos and a little bit about where they've been. And in this case, I had a text box, and I put in the text here and the author who sent the article in, and she sent me a bunch of neat photos, and I lined them all up there. And I said no fill, so that there's no color on this one at all. And that's how I did this article. And I think I can click on it and I can make it bigger if you want to see it a little bit bigger. And that's how I use MS Word to make things pretty.
Can you go over print quickly?
Oh, sure.
Printing your document.
So if I wanted to print this document, I would hit the word file, I would go down and print. And it would come, so it's going to print the whole document, or you can make it just print some pages. It says here, print all pages, but if you get this little arrow, you can make it print page 1. Or you can make it hit page 1 and 2, or you can let it say print the entire document. And you can line it up, you can make sure your printer's on
Right.
any
By the
size
way,
you want.
Go back to the top, so you see, and it describes the printer that it's going to.
Right,
Because
exactly.
there's no
Oh,
printer
sorry,
here.
yeah. Oh, there's
It
no
would
printer here.
create
Yeah,
a file that looks like a print job. So that file,
Right.
which is the standard PDF, and that is a portable document, which means it is, for all intents and purposes, a document, but only exists electronically.
I mean, if you were in the computer center and if you hit this little arrow here, all the printers in the computer center would be there. And you could just say whoever was in there, which one you should use, or just use one, and it would print to that particular printer. So it would be this arrow here under printer, under this title printer, that if you were home, if I'm home, I only have one printer. So when I hit that arrow, nothing comes up. But like I said, with the computer
Well, it
center,
does. That
Well,
arrow
yeah, other stuff will come
originally
up. Yeah,
shows
yeah,
their
yeah,
printer.
right.
It could, and you can always obviously print to a PDF.
Right, yes,
which
you
is
could always
something
do
new
that.
for Microsoft.
I mean, that comes up here, print to PDF, print to Xdoc, OneNote, you could send it to OneNote. Yep,
What if you have, I have a printer and my husband has a printer, getting ready to install.
Yeah.
Okay, mine is hardwired.
Okay.
His, I guess, might be wireless.
It will almost definitely. So what'll happen is, his will, when he installs yours,
Well, let me.
you would be able to use it.
Okay, actually, he needs to use my printer.
Then
That's
if
what
it's
I'm saying.
old enough so that it can only work by wire, then you would have to plug it into his machine for him to use it.
Or-
The
or he can
alternative
email
is,
you the document, you can print it from your email,
and
it's easier.
yeah, you can move it onto a flash drive the way
Yeah,
Andy
yeah,
does.
Yeah, yeah,
And move it to whichever machine is attached to that printer. And chances are, by the way, that printer can be made to work wirelessly.
Oh,
There are new things that, remember, Wi-Fi that had the capacity to move a lot of information didn't exist 10 years ago, if that's how old that printer is. So they didn't know how to do it. There are ways that you can go back to doing it under more modern schemes.
so in other words, we can go back and forth between the 2 printers and do it wireless.
You'll need help to
His
get it
might
done.
be- Let's say his PC, he may have to
have to wirelessly send it to our printer.
Correct,
Can you do that?
yes,
And vice versa, let's say for some reason I'm out of ink or something, I can go back, I can use this printer.
that's more of a
This is
problem.
old, this is old. Why
The
don't-
old one is harder to do,
Okay,
not impossible, but harder.
okay.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, we have Astrid.
Yes, please. I have a question about printing. In the old days, I used to be able to just highlight a section of text and then go to my printer and say print selection. And the current printer I have and the one I had before that, I don't seem to be able to just print a portion of some selected text.
I don't know. I've never done that. Let me give it a try here. Well, that's in a box. That's not gonna work.
Well, try the text
try.
box.
So I'm going to do that and then just go to print.
Yeah.
And that print option, print selection, doesn't seem to be in any of the current printers you buy.
Go take a look at the print all pages. And see if there is a selection within that.
Print selection,
Yep,
pre-selected.
print selection.
See if it's,
Oh, okay. Oh, thank you.
so it's
Yeah.
under settings, right
Because-
here,
right.
okay? With that, hit that little arrow.
Yeah.
Under settings, okay.
Print
And-
select-
Wow.
If you wanted to, by the way, you would have gone up to the help. Or that question screen and typed it in. Generally.
Question screen.
Options that are not used anymore. They tend to bury them
Mhm.
because, I mean, these menus, you can see how many options they have to give you. So when you're going 3 deep in an option, ask. And
Ah, okay. Thank you. Appreciate that.
You're welcome.
but that was a guess I
Print
had. I've
selection,
seen
good
it-
guess.
I've seen it that way before.
Okay, I never.
Mr. Berman,
Hi, again, another question. On the Creekside Book Club, the first letter of each word is substantially larger. How do you do that? And do you have an option for changing the size of the leading letter?
There is an option, it's called, well, you could either do it under, now this is, I can't do anything here because I've got it, I've cut and pasted it as a photo, so I can't change anything. But there's an option here for, it's called, oh, I can't remember what it's called.
not in this,
Where you can make the first letter very, very large, drop it down. I can't remember what it's called, though.
is that under
I was
design?
playing around with it the other day. Yeah, see, I'm not getting all the menus here because of Zoom is cutting off a lot of this stuff.
Okay.
Yes,
Yes, it is an option that's available with and it's referring to text.
Let's Google it and see.
Yep, first
Make
letter.
first letter.
Would it be called drop cap?
I think so. I can't spell.
See what it does for insert a drop cap.
Yeah, I think it's called it. Here it is, insert a drop cap. That's exactly where it is. Let's go find that. Oops, something went wrong. My internet connection. But yes,
Look it up
that's
in
what
your
it
own,
is.
in your own
Yeah.
version.
You just have to look it up in your version.
Okay, good enough. Thanks.
Yeah.
And that, by the way, is one of the problems you frequently get with software, is it gets changed every few months. And the names, and especially the names in a program will change periodically for the same thing.
Yeah.
So
And
one
you
of
know
the
what I'm
issues we
talking
have at the Technology Resource Center is somebody says, oh, I want to do this, and they know what they want, we know what they want, but nobody knows what the
What
current
to
name
do.
is. So Google helps with that. Chances are Google will know all of the names. And again, if you want something that is specific outside of what you're using, as we've said in my intro, you can do most of this, though I won't guarantee all of it in Pages, and do it some of it even in the machines that your kids use at school called a Chromebook. Chromebook allows it. It does a lot of it, but it doesn't do this huge array. I mean, this is an amazing amount of things. When you get to, remember, it has to know the size and dimensions of every cardstock ever made by Avery and invent new ones if you decide you want to give it something different. So this level of sophistication is just amazing.
It really is. I mean, we only touched upon, I don't know, maybe 25% of what this actually can do. Maybe less.
Thank you all for coming.
Thank you.
And again, Andrea is also in the computer center. Do you do every week?
Not every week. I do about 2 times a month. I'm over there.
Okay, what
Yeah.
day?
I go back and forth. I'm
Okay.
usually 11 to 1 though. That's the most constant thing. I do the 11 to 1. You just have to check the calendar.
Check the calendar, which is available online as well. And thank you all for coming.
Thanks for coming.
Thank
Thank
you
you.
for coming virtually. I'm glad to see we had 30 people.
It's not bad. That's nice.
That is nice.
I hope they enjoyed it.
Yes,
Oh, good.
yes.
No, 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 no.
No. Thank you all.
Thank
I
you.
want to ask,
Thank you, thank you.
there's no way to ask a question.
Mhm.
Oh,
Joanna, is that you? Is that-
Yes,
Go ahead.
yes. I'm saying this is a wonderful overview of all of the things that this program can do. For a beginner, how do we learn how to do these things? Is there any tutorial, any sort of class?
Joanna, there is.
Yes,
Yes, there is. Most of the programs have a welcome and they show you the very basic things. And after that, you type text into a document and play.
and do what?
And play.
Oh, play.
You
I
can
mean-
go on YouTube, and
Yeah, and
Google
there's-
MS Word
Yep.
tutorials. There's millions of them out there.
There are tutorials on everything on the internet, everything.
Yeah, okay.
Good luck.
Don't be afraid to play around with it.
But I don't know what it is, how to get it.
You have to have a goal. You have to have a project.
I have a project and I've told,
Come into the center and we'll work with you.
I'm
Clubhouse,
sorry, come what?
come to the technology center in Clubhouse and
That's
ask.
what I did. All right, all right, all right.